Eno Extreme Media UJ. Subscribe for all updates.
By the names of Mulago, I'm a legal associate at Alvarez Advocates, and it is true, everything that he has pointed out. So I'm here to tell you about the experience that I went through. I'm just from asking him whether I have to tell the whole story, but here it is. I'm going to give it to you unfiltered. So, as I've said, I work at Alvarez Advocates. It was 24th of November that I was from work. I was with my colleague. There he is, Mr. Emma. So we were from work, from Entebbe. We drove all the way from there to Kanyanya. That's where we stay. Coming to Kanyanya, I approached Bahai Road, and I had some documents. I had to scan some documents so that I could upload on ICMIS. So here I am coming out of the car. Then I met police officers who came from nowhere. Of course, okay, there was a presence of them because there were some big cars, police cars. I parked just beside them, and I had to cross the road to go and scan my documents. Upon getting out of my car, police officers came from nowhere. They grabbed me with him. They electrocuted me plus him. We fell down. Upon falling down, we received some good kicks. Then they got us up. The good thing with him, he was putting on a shirt that was written on Legal Hub, and he was fortunate enough that one of them said, he's a lawyer, he's going to cause us problems, to Muleke. So they left him behind. Me, I had nothing on me that showed that, I'm a legal personnel. They boxed me a lot of times. I couldn't count. Then electrocuted me again, grabbed me and threw me on top of a police truck. I remember its number. It was 5369 UP. So upon falling in the truck, there was a bike. I fell on a bike. Of course, it injured me, but then I met there some 2 officers. These people, I don't know, maybe I had done something to them in the past, but I don't think. These guys, one of them slapped me. I had a tooth. I even have a gap right now. I had a tooth that had a problem, but they slapped me. That slap was very good to an extent that my tooth came out. It came out. I wanted to jump off the truck. One of them, I knew him. He's an OC station, Old Kampala. It's called Liga Francis. Liga Francis, I happen to know him because I had ever approached Old Kampala police station for some legal stuff there. So that's how I got to know him. But here I am finding him on a truck. He had a baton. That man got me. Of course, by that time I was still even carrying my documents, but blood was coming out of my mouth. So Liga Francis got me, started beating me, hitting me. For some reason, he focused on my arm. He beat me to an extent that the baton broke. It was new to my eyes, but it was happening to me. The baton broke, but I couldn't even feel my arm by that time. So after doing that, of course the beating continued. I wasn't the only person in the truck. There were lots of other people. And to mention a number, we were about 37 people. We were 37 One of us was a female. I got to know her. She was a journalist from, she said she's from KS TV. So that lady got some good beating. Liga Francis used 2 batons on her. All of them were breaking. All of them were breaking. And he was beating a female. It was really bad. People were crying. People were bleeding. I'm very sure everyone that was on that truck was bleeding. Then, one of those officers, he was called Dalasonga. Is it Dalasonga? He had his name on his shirt. So Dalasonga was instructed by Liga Francis, get all their belongings, put them all together. So that's how they picked all our phones. We couldn't call anyone. We gave them all in. They took my documents. They took my phone. They took money. They took an ATM card. I don't know what they took from other people, but I'm very sure that they took their phones too. I even lost a laptop. I had a laptop with me. So it was taken too. So from there, one officer made a statement. These people are still joking. Let us tear gas them. Imagine we are in a truck. We are being beaten. Then they tear gassed us right there. It was really bad. It was suffocating. I cried. I didn't know that I could cry. I had taken long without crying, but I did cry a lot. My arm was twisted all the way from there to some place that they took us. Before I go there, there was a gentleman, I forgot his name, but he had a shirt, I had a red shirt written on Engabo ya Kyagulanyi. I think these guys read it and interpreted it like, you know, you are the shield. Okay, let us give you. That man was beaten. That guy was beaten to an extent that he couldn't walk. He couldn't sit. He was sleeping all the way. Those people drove us from Bahai Road and they took us to Mulago. I happened to have known that they had taken us to Mulago. That was like 2 days after us being delivered to Mulago. We were taken to Mulago, and all this time I didn't know that Mulago had a police station, but it did, and they have a basement. So they took us in a basement. Of course, you don't just enter the basement. You enter the basement with a beating. They don't care whether you are bleeding, whether your arm is broken. They were beating everyone. So in those cells in the basement, we happened to have found a lot of other people. A lot of people were there. So these people had been brought just before us. We entered a cell. We spent the first day there. The second day, of course, with no food. They do not provide food when they put you there. The only thing they tell you is drink some water. And that water happens to be in a toilet. There is a tap in a toilet. Toilet doesn't have a door. You are imprisoned there. So you are basically supposed to just go and put your palm on that tap, then drink from it. That's what happened for 2 days. We were not eating. We were not allowed to call anybody. So he told me that what happened after I was taken, he called VP, he called some other people, plus informing my parents. Of course, they started looking for me They looked for me everywhere in Kampala, at every police station. I wasn't there. They didn't know that there was a police in Mulago. But information reached them that there was a police in Mulago, and they instructed them to come and see me. VP instructed them to come and see me. So they came and saw me. I don't know, the other people, I don't know how their parents got to know that they were there, or their people. I don't know how they got to know, but all of them were young people, which looked like they had parents, of course. So that's when they came, saw me, and these people, when they got to realize that, you know, a lot of people were approaching, they decided to now report that whole thing to police. They were the police, but they reported it to police. We made statements. They brought a police sergeant. We made statements. The detective that was working on me was suggesting that they leave me. He was also making the same assertions that they should leave me because I'll cause them problems. But his supervisor told him she has orders from above, and they couldn't let me go. That's how I was taken to Kawempe Chief Magistrate's Court. I happened to have got bond that same day, but the other people had to go to Luzira. I don't know what has happened to them up to now, but I believe they're okay. However, I want to make it clear that everyone was beaten. Either they broke an arm or a leg, and for myself, I went through a lot. I still have a lot of complications up to now. In that I don't, when I go to pee, it's blood. I don't know what they did to me. I went to the hospital, of course, but I think I'm supposed now to seek medical attention, maybe out of the country, but they can't treat me. I don't know what has happened to other people, but I think they're also going through the same. Yeah, that's my story. Sorry for cutting it short. I know I've not said a lot of things. Time cannot allow, but yes, that's what happened to me. Thank you.
I don't know where to start. Should we give him a hand clap? Should we remove a handkerchief and clear a tear out of your eye or in your heart? What should we do? A very, very bad place to be. A lawyer, having identified himself. One of the panelists here normally tweets and says, police kozetia. And we wonder whether, I think we know that person, and we shall hear from that person as well, because these leave you dumbfounded, they leave you jaw low and wondering whether we are in a country that we indeed belong to as citizens who deserve the best. Thank you so much, Malik. It's not something that we can be proud of, but in reality, we must be going through these things. Yesterday's dialogue was begging the question, who polices the police? Who now protects the voter? And the experience is untold of. We have continued as a check and balance to require that the police and of course the army notify of where the detention centers are. If you're here to be told Mulago police station has a basement, I bet all of you will be surprised unless you go through the experience. So we are here to have these honest conversations. I want us to take heart, listen in, and use that experience to make this discussion more fruitful and beneficial. Malik has intimated a very detailed, critical story. Of course, he hasn't revolved everything. We might not listen into everything, but you can clearly see he has a broken arm. I was privileged to see the X-ray report. There is a break in that hand that is curing. As he has said, some of the things that were done cannot be treated in Uganda. He is currently processing documentation to seek further medical assistance from out of the country. It's not something nice. We recently were here. We hardly bring victims to tell their story because many a time it breaks your heart. But we are forced, because if we don't, then their stories might never be heard. And that is our role, and as an organization, it's our duty. His experience is going to